mansion built in the classic style of architecture in 1848. Now look at all the beautiful ironwork in the front of this house, especially the fence along the street. It's known as the famous fence of presidents and poets. Ironwork was the signature sign of wealth back in those days. Now, I want to see this crowd around the bottom of that drain pipe because they're looking at what we call a dolphin downspout. There's one right there behind a tree there, but there's also another one at the next door that you can actually see a lot better. They are designed to look like a mythological dolphin, y'all, but if you ask me, I think they look a lot more like catfish. Yeah, and in the center in the square is the statue of our founder, General James Edward Oglethorpe, sculpted and designed by Daniel Chester French and Henry Bacon. They also did the seated Lincoln in Washington, D.C. Now, Oglethorpe's statue is facing the south, and for a very good reason. Whenever we erect a military monument, it's always erected facing the direction of the enemy, and of course the Spanish in Florida were Oglethorpe's enemy. Then look to your right, you'll see the old telly box, sitting right next to the six-man pub. Now that is an old English-style pub, but if any of y'all on board the trolley today have ever seen the movie Something to Talk About with Julia Roberts, you just might recognize that pub down here. Because that is the pub where Julia, in her nightgown, caught her husband with the other woman. Oh yeah. Dennis Quaid played her husband in that movie. Boy, that scoundrel. We have actually become quite the hotspot for filmmaking. They've done the original Cape Fear, Legends of Agripan, Part of Forces of Nature, and of course Midnight in the Garden of Eden, just to name a few. The Moorish-style building here on your right, Henry Ford had a plantation about 7 miles upriver. He liked this building, so he bought it and it became our first Ford dealership and showroom here in Savannah. And now we're pulling into stop number 3. They get clear for Macy. Charles Green, well, he offered his home for Sherman. He did this so as not to embarrass any of the native Spaniards with him having to host the enemy in their house. So Sherman did use the Greenbelt House as his headquarters. It is from there that he sent this message to President Lincoln, and the message said, "I beg to present to you, sir." Now look directly in front of us, you're going to see the White Marine Monument dedicated to the 24 Marines from Savannah who lost their lives in World War I. And then further back beyond that, you're going to see that big white fountain down there. Now that is the four-sided fountain. Now the fountain was erected in 1858, but we actually ordered that fountain from a mail-order catalog out in New York City. Page 5 if you want one, y'all. It's a replica of one from France, but we got it from good old New York. Now look to your right, y'all, because this is still the Armstrong House. Remember I told you it was originally built as a single-family dwelling. Then it became Armstrong College until the college outgrew it. And then it became the law offices of Sonny Siler. Sonny Siler was the lawyer for Jim Williams during those 4 murder trials. Now, it was just bought and restored about a year ago to be a single-family residence again. And to your right there, between these 2 homes, up the steps on pedestals are 2 green pineapples. The pineapple is the universal symbol of hospitality. And here on your right is Hodgkin Hall. But I want you to look at the middle picture here. That's actually a replica of a painting that was done in England of Tom and Gigi and his son, because he did make a voyage to England. Hodgkin Hall is the home of the Georgia Historical Society. It has over 50,000 manuscripts and transcripts of Georgia's history inside of it. Oglethorpe's original compass, and they are the 3rd oldest historical society in the United States. And to your right, you may have noticed a different style of architecture here, and the wisteria on that house right there is blooming. But this is the Victorian district. Now, if you look to your left in between the 2 trees coming up here, lucky us, we get to rain twice a year instead of once a year. And coming up on our right is the oldest live oak tree in the state. That oak tree right there is nearly 400 years old. There's even a beehive in there. Okay, now when Sherman occupied the city of Savannah, he said if you are getting off here, well, I hope you enjoyed your tour with me and had a good time. Tips are appreciated, but please remain seated a complete stop here and open up the doors. This is stop number 6 here. In the dueling grounds, the cemetery. Those losers didn't have very far to go, did they? No, no. Colonial Park Cemetery was opened up in 1750 and then closed for burials in 1853. But when Sherman occupied the city of Savannah, some of his troops also camped out here. Now to make room for their tents, they just knocked down a bunch of headstones. And remember I said it was one of the coldest Decembers on record that year, so they literally broke into those crypts, threw out the body, and slept in there for warmth. Right? Yeah. And to amuse themselves, they thought it'd be a lot of fun to change something.
Learn how to create beautiful works of art, and they're surrounded by 300 years of amazing history. These brick buildings on the left used to be cotton warehouses, and today they are classrooms for the Savannah College of Art and Design. Straight ahead of you, a smokestack rises from an old railway station where Robert E. Lee rode trains during the Civil War. They shot a movie out there called Glory, starring Denzel Washington, who won an Academy Award for one of the best Civil War films ever made. If this trolley is full and heads out, another trolley will be here in a few minutes to start the next tour. That's how it is all day long. Stop number 1 is where all of our tours begin.